Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to day 4. I'm so excited today. We have I should say our guest. We have the wonderful, lovely personal and business coach, Tammy Lee Robinson. Tammy Lee will be teaching us today. We'll be speaking with each and every single one of you about one of the most important thing that you need to have in order to attract anything in life, right? Which is to have the right mindset and how to use the law of the universe. Like, why work hard? Like, why work hard when you have all those faculties, the universe that's here to help you? So she's going to teach you exactly what the movie The Secret was all about. She's actually a certified Bob Proctor coach, and what does that mean? Is that you're literally sitting on the shoulder of Bob Proctor with his 60 years of experience, and she's going to be able to teach you that in the few hours that we have right now. I also want to welcome Mina. Mina, welcome back. Our numerology that we had on day 1. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Thank you, Ruth. And hi, Tammy. It's going to be a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Look, today is one of the best day because everybody know about the law of attraction, right? But not everyone know how to manifest what they want in life. So today is the day that you learn how to do it, realize your dream, realize your desires, and Tammy is there to help you with that. So you have your first day of numerology, you know who you are. Second day with Ruth to expand your business with a self funnel. Yesterday was with Peggy, the incredible Peggy. Thanks for her knowledge. She bring in with the knowledge of how to write a book and become an author. So if you have a business, think about writing a book with Peggy. And today, great day with Tammy. I'm so eager to hear from her about the law of attraction and how to manifest whatever you want in life. It's the key thing. So, Tammy, eager to hear from you. Let's
Excellent.
go. The stage is yours.
Just want
Thank
to
you.
say just want to say one more thing, guys. Make sure you get a pen and paper,
Mhm.
because even though you guys may think that you know the law of attraction, if something has not manifested in your life, is because you're probably getting into the law of familiarity. Familiarity, meaning that I already know this, right? But if you already knowing something and actually manifesting is two different things. So Tammy will be able to share with this with you guys. So grab a pen and paper. I know I already have my pen, and I'm looking forward to your lesson. Stage is yours.
Well, thank you, ladies, you lovely ladies, my soul sisters. So I really appreciate that. And yes, today my mission is to enlighten everyone and for you to have a really big aha moment. And we'll go deep, we'll go look at the structure, at the whole system. There's 12 lessons that the Thinking into Results program has, and I really want to go just, quickly, but touch all 12 of them to give you a general idea. How does this work? And you'll have heard little bits and pieces here on YouTube or on the internet, but of course, you've never dove in like plongé. You've never been deep into the concepts. And Bob would say, you can get bits and pieces on the internet, but it's like having a combination of the safe. If you don't have the right order, if you don't know, which one to put before the other, and also by not studying, there's missing many pieces. So I did a quick live this morning, and I was, calling out to everyone really. If you have PTSD, if you're anxious, depressed, if you're just, feeling stuck in a rut, if you have disease in your body, where I'm going to share books, I'm going to share tools, I'm going to share science and psychology. So, I've had the comments sometimes, is this a cult or something? No, it's not a cult. It's science, it's psychology. We can prove everything now that is being taught. Back in the day, Bob Proctor started over 60 years ago, and there wasn't science to prove all of this, but what they had was a young author, a young journalist called Napoleon Hill who had the opportunity, thanks to Andrew Carnegie, who was back in the day the richest man on earth. He's like, I know things. I know things on how to bring prosperity in my life, how to, you know, get all of this. And I'm getting old now and I want to share this and I want to be able to share it on a worldwide way. And I'm calling upon you, Napoleon Hill, to write a book. And I will set you up with 500 of the most successful people on earth. And so Andrew Carnegie asked Napoleon Hill, are you up for the challenge? So Napoleon Hill wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. And this is the book that has made the most millionaires on earth. And now I'm teaching this book also to the young girls or young people that I'm coaching. And I said to them, I showed them a summary of the book, of the principles in the book. And I said, nowhere in here does it talk about money. It's about your mind. It's about desire. It's about energy. It's about, you know, having a clear path. It's all intangible. And what I'm going to show you today, you know, sometimes I get into businesses or even the corporate world or small businesses. And in the beginning, they're like, energy, we're in the business place. Well, listen, if you come out today angry, your staff are going to feel it. They know you're angry. So, yes, energy in the workplace is the most powerful driver of results. So, I try to tell them now you have to open your mind, push away for just a few minutes, you know, when you're thinking business and marketing plan and sales structures and sales training. That is an absolute must. I completely agree. Been there, we worked on that. But there's a missing component to that, and it's energy. And it's energy from the business owner, from the branch managers, from the team leaders, the supervisors, or if you're working as a solo entrepreneur, what is your energy? And what am I talking about when I'm saying energy? What's your frequency? How are you feeling? How are you showing up in the world? Are you someone that is down, depressed? Are you angry? Are you easily frustrated, easily discouraged? That's your energy. And we bring that in our couple, in our workplace, in our business, in our relationships with our kids, with our colleagues, with our friends. And when we're not aware of how the mind works, how energy works, sometimes life can be pretty rough. And you know, you speak to people and they seem stuck in a pattern of starting the same thing over and over. Difficulty in relationships. It's been how many relationships? Difficulty in, you know, started a few businesses and then the businesses they shut down. There's certain patterns and people don't understand like, why is this still happening to me again? You know, or being in the same types of toxic relationships because there's paradigms. So, what are paradigms? Many people don't know what they are. I didn't know what it was. And, you know, I had brought in disease, depression into my life, cancer. And I thought I was just, you know, pulled the wrong number and I didn't get the lucky number. But no, there is creation process and we have control over the disease that we bring into our life. But when we don't know, we don't know. And how can we change? So it was disease that brought me to come and go full on as to become a consultant with Bob Proctor. First, it was just for help because I was depressed. It was after, you know, my surgery at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center in Toronto in 2016. I thought I was broken. I was finished. I was going to die young. And then I knew because I did my studies in psychology. When up to university, but I didn't complete to become a psychologist because I didn't want to do the 10 years. So I abandoned my studies in psychology, but I was always, you know, pulled to that direction. I always continued to do personal development seminars, courses. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, when Ruth was talking about Tony Robbins, I've been working with Tony Robbins too since 19. And I said to Ruth, I still have all of the personal power tapes and everything. So, you know, it's something that I've loved since I'm 19 years old. And, you know, I had the chance to meet and and be coached by also Jim Rohn. So you guys can only see him on YouTube now because he's passed away. But my God, what a gift to have him in my life at 19 years old. And that gave me a jump in my life. While I was going to university, I became a Herbalife distributor because I was very depressed and I was gaining weight and gaining weight. So started taking the Herbalife products, lost 73 pounds while going to Jim Rohn seminars because we had access to Jim Rohn all the time with Herbalife. And I was like, oh my God, I love what he does. This is what I want to do. I didn't understand back then that it was his influence, his coaching, his teaching that made me finally lose that 73 pounds and, release that because I was in an environment, this mindset of possibilities, of understanding, of, Jim Rohn always says, work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because a job is a salary, but when you work on yourself, you work on your future, on your 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 desires, on building your own business instead of just working on a salary. So am I saying quit your job? And no, I'm saying while you're working, you have to work on yourself. Who do you want to be? Do you want to have your own business? Do you want to grow a business? Who do you really want to be? And the sad thing about it is that 97% of people, they have no clue. They just get up in the morning and like getting into a bumper car. It's like, oh, where's life going to take me today? And then we get down and we get depressed. And, it's like life is difficult. And, today I have a very strong passion about this because, I see everything negative that happened to me as a gift, because it was these negative things and disease and cancer that brought me to go get help. But what I find beautiful today is with, the younger people, like I was saying, I have quite a few young girls coming to get coaching on wanting to launch their businesses, and it's like mind blowing. I wish I would have had that structure, that service, and that opportunity to go get guidance, to go get help on the creation process, on how to build any dream. So I just wanted to, quickly open the call with open your mind on awareness. We were even talking, the girls yesterday, should we do a meditation? Because even though, we could be talking to corporate people, if you're not aware of this energy, you're missing a piece of the puzzle. I was in the corporate world. I remember, trying to explain this to someone that had a very big ego, that was not open to this at all. And, and he thought he was coming to save me and coming to help in my branch because he had heard that I was so nice and so kind with my staff and everything. And he's like, this wasn't in the beginning, but later on, he said, Tammy, he said, I really judged you. And I thought like I was going to come in and bring in authority and, structure. And I'm like, you can have structure. And I had structure with kindness and with, awareness of bringing, support in the branch, bringing open discussions, seeing what each employee, where they want to be and what chair do you want to sit? What would be your ideal job? Do you want to change departments? And he would say to me, well, you shouldn't ask them that. That's our job, because I was the branch manager and this person was a team leader that was reporting to me. And I was trying to say, you're too abrupt. The way you talk to the staff, they feel, they come and tell me and they feel that you're putting them down. I said, to reach crazy numbers, we have to get them excited and engaged. And it's not by pushing someone's energy down that you're going to get them excited. So, some people grab onto these theories, to these concepts, and their life boom. And others think that, when people think that they know it all and that there's no more room to grow, it's so sad for them because, they can take a step back and not grow. So, I'm not in that job anymore, but I know that that person did not grow into other leadership roles, was not even able to stick around in that leadership role of a team leader or supervisor because of his unwillingness to open his mind to push away the ego a little bit and say, okay, what is this thing about energy in the workplace that it's the most powerful driver of results? So we're going to look at that, and you'll see it's energy in the workplace, it's energy in your couple, it's energy in your health, in your mind, in your body. So I went and for the past 2 years, I've been taking a certification to become a natural therapist because I wanted to understand even deeper, even more energy, because that has been a big, big process of getting cancer out of my body, of healing myself, of, getting depression out of my body, getting that low self image. Because having quit school, quit university, I had this feeling inside of me of feeling like a failure, feeling like, I abandoned school. So, of course, it gave me much drive in my job because I always wanted to prove myself and my ego was high. And, let's go to the next level and take courses to become, a team leader, a branch manager, corporate leader. And so, but I was always driven by, you know, trying to fill this void inside of me, which was the deception of not working in the personal growth sector, not being there to help people and help people grow and understand. Because what Jim Rohn had taught me, what had passioned me, and then all the other courses I took throughout my life, it's like it brought me much growth and saved my couple. So it's such a beautiful process. So I'm going to go now and I'm going to share my presentation, and I'll give you an idea. You'll be able to see what are these 12 steps. Of course, we won't be able to go into each and every single one of them for half an hour each, but it's going to give you an idea. What does this program look like? My clients, they come with me for a 6-month process, and it's like, it's the university of the mind. It's learning, how to create, how to attract into our life. Because listen, the law of attraction is like the law of gravity. It's a law of the universe. And the other day when I said these laws of the universe, someone thought it was, I was talking about religion or spirituality again. I'm like, no, even, NASA works with the laws of the universe, and they can time the landing of a jet or that they send to the moon. They can land that with the precision of a second. There's science, and there's laws. So whether you're nice or not nice, if we let go a pen, it's going to fall because it's the law of gravity. Well, the law of attraction stipulates that we attract what we are in alignment of, what we think and what we feel. And once that's in alignment, man, it's coming in. But wait a minute, it works the same for the negative. If you're in alignment with, oh my God, I'm afraid to lose my business. And, what if I don't have enough clients? And this is your thought, and your feeling is completely aligned with that. Well, guess what? You're setting yourself up to close your business, to end that career. So, there's no pause and there's no break. Like on law of gravity, we can't say, oh, I don't want the law of gravity to apply right now. No, it's in continuous motion. And again, science can prove this. It's not a religion. Science can prove this. So now that we know that, it's becoming aware. Okay, what are my thoughts right now? It's like anxiety. You don't catch anxiety. Anxiety is learned by the environment of how you saw your parents deal with things. I didn't see anxiety when I was young in my house, but I saw severe depression from my mom. So I learned that. And then what happens? Well, all of the brothers and sisters, it's called paradigms. It's things that we learn. And how do we learn them? It's in what was in our environment from our 0 to 7 years old. So, if you were grown in an environment where there was a lot of love and connection, well, guess what? That's probably what you're going to also be living in your life. If you've been brought up in an environment where there was a lot of anger and even physical violence and abuse and verbal abuse, well, guess what? That's how you're going to be, because that's what you've learned and that's what comes out automatically, our automatic responses in front of situations or events. So paradigms come from our environment. So again, sorry, I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. I'm going to put this in a slideshow. So you'll be able to see after I'll do a summary of the lessons and then we'll go into them. And you really got to see this as a canvas in front of you, and how it's by living in these 12 principles that my life has completely changed. So it's not doing a 6-month program, it's not doing like a diet and then you come back to your old habits. This is conscious awareness. This is learning intellectually certain concepts and then uh, les intérioriser, and then bringing them inside of you, feeling them, bringing the conscious awareness of your vibration. Because we got to understand, oh my God, what am I thinking right now? Because as soon as my feeling is in alignment with that, I'm attracting it. And there's a lovely story that I want to share of someone that I know. And this person tried to get pregnant in her 20s, in her 30s. And and then paid 3 times for in vitro and it never worked. And this person was sad and depressed because everyone was having kids. And, she it was a very big difficulty for her, and she was it was her life dream, so it destroyed her internally to not be able to get pregnant. So she was on a low vibration, a low frequency of, oh no, this is what I want, like the rest of my life is good, but man, nothing else counts if I can't have my baby. And this person was on a very low frequency until the day they decided, all right, I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to adopt. I filled in the papers and a baby is coming. Well, guess what? This person was now 40 years old and she got pregnant naturally. No in vitro. When in vitro didn't work 3 times when she was 10 years younger in her 30s. Didn't work, because even going into in vitro was like, oh my God, what if this doesn't work? What if I can never have a baby? What if this never happens to me? So even coming in with the in vitro, the frequency, the thoughts, the feelings was like, oh, panic and fear and anxiety. So we have to be aware that we create all of these things by our thoughts, feelings, and actions. And we also have to be aware we have to put the brakes and focus on what we want and not what we don't want. So what happened with this lady? The day that she changed her frequency, because she signed the papers and it was guaranteed that she was going to have a baby, she got pregnant naturally. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. 40, 41, 42. So it's all frequency, all of it. I worked in the corporate world. There was over 300 offices in our business, in our company. 300 offices. These 300 offices had the same opportunities, same suppliers, same everything. Why is it that some offices were getting phenomenal results and other offices were getting terrible results? Well, that's what we're going to look at today. How to change the results in your life, in your business, in your couple. I don't care if your couple is terrible right now. With these concepts that I'm going to talk to you about today, you could flip it over in a heartbeat, because that's what we did. So energy in the workplace is the most powerful driver of results. Here's me with Jim Rohn when I was saying that, I've been into psychology, into studying the mind. And it's also thanks to my mom, because, she was in a severe depression for 10 years. And it's the day, one day she woke up and she's like, you know what? If I let myself die, well, he's going to win. But if I stand up for my rights, I'm going to win. So that day, my mom stood up and she's like, I don't know how, but today is going to be a changing day in my life. I'm going to get help. I don't know where and who, But she opened the phone book and she started calling and she said, "Today is the day that life is changing." So it was really my mom that inspired me because I saw her from my 0 to 10 years old being sad, crying, never coming out of her bedroom. It was my brothers and sisters that would take care of me and help and take care of me because mom was out of it. She was so far in depression. And so she's the one that inspired me because today my mom is 88 years old. Oh, I forgot to bring the picture. I have a beautiful picture of me and my mom that I did at her 86th birthday. We went for a photo shoot and we took pictures because she did the program thinking into results. And it even changed her life. And she's 88 years old. She still has her driver's license, uses her car, and now she knows with what she learned with the mind that, yes, she wakes up and she's sore all over. But she's like, Tammy, by 10:30, after doing all of my tools, my auto suggestion, writing, my visualization, she's like, I feel phenomenal. So, everything is a gift in disguise. So it was that brought me to, going into courses and personal growth. And that's me with Jim Rohn at 19 years old. And just, so excited of these life principles. So success is built from strategies, but is accomplished with energy. Because, you could have, again, the best business plan in the world. If the team leader, if the branch manager, if the owner of the company, or if, like I was saying, if it's a solo entrepreneur, if your self image, if your energy is low, is down, your best marketing plan won't do anything because you won't have the the self-love to take action, the passion, because if when it's not going well inside in your mind, you don't have the courage to do anything. you know like yesterday, having a coach like Peggy McCall, for sure you could write a book, for sure you could be a New York Times bestseller, but you have to invest in studying and learning and getting a coach and going down that path and learning new things. So, this is how, like, this program, bringing it to my workplace and transforming my results and my branch was like life changing. Before, I was still okay. I was a okay average branch manager, got the promotions, but my God, I did miracles. Like with my team, we had miracles and numbers and results with the lessons I'm going to talk to you about. So success is built from strategies, absolutely, but they're accomplished with energy. And this, you can even look at hockey teams. We were listening to an interview of a team that had won an NHL Cup, and they were like, what do you think is the determining factor? Why? And the guy thought about it a few minutes, and he's like, it's the energy in the room. Like, some years there's teammates that are not, they're in conflict with other teammates. He's like, we won the Stanley Cup, but we all wanted it. We were all at the same mindset. We were all on that same energy frequency. Like we were going to give our all, and we just knew, like, we had a clear vision, and energy wise, it's like these are our brothers. So, in your workplace, you have to have that same thing. And I worked with a branch manager at one point, and she's like, Tammy, you don't understand. Like, the staff hate me. And, they really don't, I can feel their energy. They're always angry. And I'm like, listen, this system is foolproof. We're going to change the energy. They don't know that we're going to change their energy. They don't know how you're going to change the energy in your branch, in your office, and they don't have to know, but the leader needs to know. So it's I'm going to move on to the next slide so we can start in the lesson soon. So here we go again. You can have the best business development plan, the best marketing strategies in the world, but without energy, direction, and self-confidence, it's not going to lift off. I had to have that branch manager understand. I'm like, the results your branch right now, where they're at, it's not because of you. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's your fault. But what I am saying though is that you can change it around. So it's the current situation right now for many different reasons. But with these tools, you as a business leader, you can change it around by first you changing your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So we did both. We established the business plan, what we were going to do, the structure, and looking at the human needs. What does the staff need? And that's something that I learned with Tony Robbins, the 6 basic human needs. We need stability, but we also need challenges. We need security to know where we're going, where we're at, but we also need, passion and excitement. So this means that the feelings and the energy in the workplace are the most powerful driver of results. How many times or how many places have you worked that the energy was toxic, that, people were negative? And man, you get rid of that one bad apple and the whole team changes. And the companies that don't dare to face the bad apples because, the person has been working there for 10, 15, 20 years, they don't know how they are blocking themselves from moving to another level. And I'm never here saying, get rid of your husband, get rid of your wife, get rid of that employee. Never, ever, ever is that my suggestion. Because I've been with my husband 37 years. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been perfect. But my God, since we live in with these tools, we are more connected and more in love than we've ever been. And my kids have success thanks to it also. But, it's the balance of having strategies, having a plan, and also what is the energy you're bringing to your team, that you're bringing to your couple. How are you showing up? I would make even if I wasn't feeling well, even if my santé, my health wasn't good, I would make an effort to, when I walked into the office, that my energy was high, that I would go say hi to each and every single employee before I sat down in my office for the rest of those 8 hours or 10 hours. So, and that was my moment to go connect with everyone. Hey, how you doing? And just that quick good morning, I could see, whoa, that person's energy is low. They seem sad, they seem upset, or they seem. So that was pointers for me. And then after, I would send a message or, do you have time this afternoon? Let's meet at 2 o'clock. And just, I would say, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I noticed this morning your energy seemed pretty low. Like, is everything okay? And then at first they were like, oh my God, you're my boss and you care? Like, I had comments like this, and I'm like, of course I care. And I saw that your numbers are going down. Like, I know what you can do, and I know how you can produce. So what's going on in your life that is making you feel this way? And one broke down and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe, no one has ever even cared. Like, no one even knows what I'm going through. And she had just learned that her husband was cheating on her. And so, but just being there, listening to her, knowing that, it's that she didn't need to feel judgment from me, that I understand that your sales are low. So how can I help you? How can you come here, get a mental break, get a self-confidence boost? How can I help you with that so that at night you have the strength to go deal with the separation now? I want to be there for you, not to put pressure on you to build your numbers. I want to be there for you to build your self-confidence so that, what, you're going to be okay, and you've got this, and I've got your back. Even if it's difficult times and your numbers are going down, I believe in you. And just that, oh my God, some people have never even had that type of encouragement sometime in their lives. So, what did I do to start transforming and changing my branch? I became aware of my energy, of how I came across to people, became aware of their energy. How are they feeling? I see that, you're not there. It's like, well, I don't like this job. I don't feel challenged. Oh, no. Okay. What would you love to do here in the branch? And then they look at me. It's like, well, I'd love to be a broker. Well, no problem. We pay for the broker course. Like, Are you engaged? Do you really want to do this? And my God, it's like people would transform literally. So that was a beautiful gift. Even though I wasn't working in psychology, still many things I had learned in school, I was able to apply in my day-to-day life, because we're working with humans. And, humans have good days and bad days, and they have money problems and career problems and marriage problems and children problems. And if you can just show that employee that you care, oh my God, they're going to move the stars and move the everything for you once their energy is back up and they got everything, back in order. So, but it all starts at the top and it flows down. I remember working with one company where the person wanted me to, coach a bunch of their team leaders, supervisors, but the owner of the company didn't want to do the program. So I was like, well, I really need you to be on board. Like, it has to first come from you. Yes, yes, I'll go to the meetings, but this is for my team. I want this for my team. So, but I will go, maybe I won't be there all the time, but I promise you I'll go. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So start working with the team. Things are going well. And then the owner stops coming to the meetings. And then the owner's not there anymore. So then the team members are like, listen, Tammy, we're getting your concepts, we're applying them with our teams now, but the owner is coming to us with a negative energy, coming like, I want numbers, I want results, I want this. So he's counterproducting everything that you're teaching us. So, that is a big thing. But sometimes it's, the company owner's egos that it's like, no, I know enough in life. I know all this stuff. You just take care of it and you go. So today I've promised myself that I'm not going to work with any staff if the owner of the company and the team leaders, the managers, if they are not all on board, because it's not going to work, because they don't get the concept of energy if they never come to the meetings. And then they show up in the meetings and they're the bad vibe, or they're the negative apple, from the team. So it all starts at the top and it flows down. And on another note, I worked for a company one time. The president was a little woman. She was kind, beautiful, working from her heart. She had her MBA, and she's like, Tammy, everything has to be win-win. And she's like, me, I pay my employees more than anyone in our industry, because she paid them 50-50. So 100% commission, and she's like, you know what? If I win, they win. And what happens with that is that people with, no ambition, they don't stay in that kind of company, because they can't hide behind, oh, I don't feel like working today. And like, that is, one of the best companies that I worked for. But she was all about energy again, energy in the win-win, that I will give you the big bucks, but you have to work like crazy. And it was some of the insurance brokers I saw making the most money in the personal lines department. In commercial, you can see insurance brokers making a lot of money. But in personal lines, I had never seen brokers making over $100,000. But with her system and in her company, there was people making that kind of money. But her at the top, she was aware of this. So how was she structuring her meetings, her day-to-day, her interactions with her people, with her managers? All from this vibe. And if you weren't on this frequency, and if you didn't get these concepts, if you were, one face in the meeting, but leaving the meeting and being like, the arrogant manager, supervisor, and talking down to people, you wouldn't stay in her company. So, she knew the system. She knew Bob Proctor. She knew all of this. And she sold her business at one point for millions and millions of dollars, because, she said that they even teach these concepts in the MBA. So it's part of business, guys. It's not religion. It's just common sense, and it's how to get people engaged. And again, like I was saying, if you don't have a team, how to get yourself engaged, how to get your family engaged, your children engaged, your husband engaged. So if the energy at the top is toxic, guess what's going to flow down to the team? And that is absolutely. So we're going to look at the Thinking into Results 24-week transformation. So my company is called MBS Life Class for Mind, Business, and Soul. So I want to bring the conscious awareness of the mind and bringing the soul, but into the business environment. So this is Bob Proctor, for those of you who don't know him. So Bob Proctor has been, well, he passed away last year. And he worked over 60 years in studying these principles. And, Bob Proctor was known all across the world. He was a millionaire, but Bob Proctor only had 2 months of his first year of high school and then dropped out. And like he would say, don't ask me to fix a car, but ask me anything on the mind, the law of attraction, the power, the laws of the universe. He's like, I studied them like a madman my whole life, and how it's transformed his life and how he's transformed people's lives. Because, we're a whole team of consultants now, and each consultant are, making an impact. In my clients, I have one lady that released 130 pounds, and she was a very angry person and aggressive and, violent even at some points in her life. And she's like, Tammy, I'm so not that person anymore. But oh my God, my only regret is not knowing these tools earlier in life. And I'm like, you know what? Let's not have any regrets. At least you got it. Some people still haven't gotten it. Some people still haven't learned these things yet. So moving on. So the program is called Thinking into Results. We're going to show you how to think into what you want. And that's how you're going to eliminate anxiety from your life. Not with a pill to shove it down. Anxiety is talking to you. Disease in our body is talking to us. So I will show you in a little bit the books and how we're bringing in disease into this also. So what I'll show you, lesson 1, a worthy ideal. So here, the business principle is all about goal setting and achieving. So the benefit is this lesson explains on how to set and achieve goals that quantum leaps your life. So that's why the Thinking into Results program, we have a workbook, and the workbook is all, well, mine is all written. It's all written and a little bit torn. I wanted to show you that each section is built personal and business, personal and business. So I have people that start and do the program just for themselves because they're going through a hard time. They want to get out of it. Other people are doing good, but they want to go to the next level. They want to quit their 9-to-5 job. They want to build a business they've always been dreaming of, and they want to learn the steps. There's other people that is completely for work. But regardless of where you start, you still will do it for every aspect in your life. And that's why it's so transformative. Lesson 2 is the knowing doing gap. Why do we know we should do this and we don't do it? I know I should eat the cake, but why do we eat it anyways? I know I should get up and, do my sales calls, go out to do my workout, but then, we don't do it. Lesson 2, you understand why you don't do it, why you don't want to do those sales calls. So here, the business principle is your return on investment. So it's going to teach you how to change your behavior to close the gap between what you want and what you're not getting. So we're going to close the gap of what you know and what you do, and that's called the knowing doing. So lesson 3, the infinite mind. So here, the lesson that we look at, the business principle, if we're looking on the business side, it's productivity and efficiency. How to get people to do more. So, it's like training in the corporate world is all about, teaching people a new skill, a new system, a new tool, a new sales tool. But that doesn't get them to do more. It doesn't get them to do more sales calls. They know how to do the call or do the report or, but what gets them to do more? So that's what we look at. The lesson 3 is really on how to change. So in lesson 2, in the knowing doing gap, we're going to look at, what is keeping you stuck. So, and there's a whole process behind that. Lesson 3, the infinite mind. We're going to talk about how to change, and that's why it's going to increase your productivity and the efficiency. The lesson 4, the secret genie. So here it's understanding your mind, understanding the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and understanding that, whatever was put in the subconscious mind, that's our automatic. So that's where, when I say, if you've seen fear, anger in your family, that was just put in your subconscious mind growing up. That's what you saw. So that's how you react. But one thing, that is not who you are, because who you are, you can change that, you can modify that, you can become your best version. Many people, you've saw many videos on TV, there's a lot of people that do it, but so it's doable because they went and they studied the process. So moving on, lesson 5, thinking into results. So here the business principle is innovation and proactive thinking. So this lesson is going to teach you how to think and how to analyze your thinking. So it's stop being just a robot going out in the world, and no, it's like becoming aware, putting the brakes on. What am I feeling right now? How am I making my child feel? How am I making the people that I meet feel? We get so caught up in life and, oh, well, this person is acting like this or talk to me like that or is blowing up at me. Then I turn it around. But how are you coming into the conversation? Well, I'm coming in frustrated because of this and that. And, I have reason to be frustrated. Yes, okay, you may have reason to be frustrated, but how's that working for you? Is it getting you the results that you want? Is it making the person change their behavior? Probably not. More than probably, absolutely not. And then this turns into quitting jobs that, are changing careers or leaving spouses, and that maybe if you guys just understood each other, that you would be at a whole other level. But, most people think, well, this is how I am. This is how I'm made. I have no choice. I'm like that. My parents are like that. We're all very violent people. And, and that's who I am. Well, no, that's not who you are. That's what you saw and that's how you became. But, people who, one example in in the movie The Secret, when Bob Proctor talks about or maybe it wasn't in The Secret and was in our live trainings, he's like, Tiger Woods changed his swing. So even though he's been doing it this way for many years and he's super good doing it that way, most of us would say, I'm not starting something new. I won't be good at it, But if you understand that doing it the new way, you're going to move through the uncomfortness of it, and then you're going to reach a whole new level. Well, this is what we do in this program. So lesson 6, our environment is but our looking glass. So the business principle is creating powerful teams, but you have to have a vision of that team. If the team has no vision, sometimes I would work with businesses that, okay, what is your mission, your vision, your values? Oh, don't know. We don't have that. Okay. What do you, for your staff, do they have written procedures? Do they have, what they know what to do? Because the person was complaining that, staff are difficult and, that it's long, the training process for them to buy in. And I'm like, okay, well, where are the tools? What is their workbook and their training guide? And I don't have that. I don't have that. I don't have that. Well, how do you expect your employees to know everything about the company if they don't even have clear vision of it and they don't have supportive training? So, and if we look at lesson 6 on a personal level, lesson 6 is our self-image. but we'll get back to that later on. Moving on to lesson 7, trample the terror barrier. So it's understanding fears, it's overcoming barriers to success. If you're in sales and you're afraid to make the phone call and it gets you all nervous and it's blocking you, here you're going to understand how to move through success blockers, how to move through your fear, how to move through the terror barrier. Lesson 8, the power of praxis. So here it's aligning actions with results, with the company vision, sorry. So, if you take action, but you're taking action, but you don't even know what the company vision is and you don't even know where you're going, same thing for you. You could say, oh, well, I have my vision clear. I have my vision board done and I visualize my goals, but you never take action. Well, nothing's going to work. It's not magic. It's not superpowers. The law of attraction has specific, it's the thoughts, it's the feelings, and it's the action. So, moving on now to lesson 9, the magic word. So, what's the business principle here? The attitude and mindset of high producing teams. How many meetings have you had that talked about attitude and mindset? I know I was in the corporate world for over 25 years in insurance, and I've never had trainings on these principles. Bob would say, there's some people that have great successes in life, but they couldn't explain to you how or why, and they can't even show their kids because they're like, I'm just lucky and I don't know why. Bob calls these unconscious competence. They're super competent and they don't know why. And that happened to me in the first corporate job that I had, where, the numbers were low, and we had an audit and then a second audit, and then if they failed this third audit, they were pulling the plug on this brokerage. So in a panic, the manager that was there, she was sick, she quit the job. She's like, I don't want this, I can't take this stress. So my boss turned to me and she's like, Tammy, are you up for a challenge? And I'm like, yes, bring it on. So I was an unconscious competent because I hadn't done the program, but there was stuff that I remembered and learned from my courses in psychology. And it was like, I need to get people in the right chair. So my first thing, I went to everyone and I'm like, what would you love to do here? And they're like, why? What? No, if you had, the choice, would you change jobs? Is there something else in this office that you'd prefer doing? Is there something that, a procedure, a workflow that that you could implement? And so people suddenly were like, oh my God, you're interested in my ideas? Oh, well, I'd love to do this. And I think, Tammy, it would work so good if we had this. Oh, I love that idea. So, okay, let's go to the boardroom. And then I started team building with them. I started brainstorming. How would you do this? Let's build it together. Instead, again, being in the ego that I'm the boss and I'm going to put this system in place and you're going to implement it, there's way to get people engaged, to get the passion up. And one of them is getting them involved in the process, getting their ideas, because they also need to feel important and feel that they're part of the team. So, and then teaching these tools and principles and attitude and mindset, like everything changes. So after having my interviews with all of them, seeing what they looked like, I changed the whole branch's structure. Instead of back in that day was every broker, they had a alphabetical split. I have all the clients from A to F, and I would do everything for this client: the renewals, the follow-ups on accounts, the sales, the servicing. But then when speaking to people, I would love to do just sales. I'm such a good salesperson. Another person, I hate sales. When someone calls and I don't sell, I don't do it, I just hate it. So then when I divided everyone, you're going 100% sales, you're going 100% service. You like being in collections, you're going to call the clients to collect the money. I had another girl that was doing everything in the previous structure. She was rude, but she knew insurance. Like, she even got fired from the family business that was in insurance. And man, she was so knowledgeable. She knew her stuff, but she was terrible. Like, if one client pushed her buttons, she would tell that client off. And I'm like, listen, how would you love to be in charge of, this section of the work. But if there's mistakes, I'm coming back to see you. You never have to speak to a client again. You never have to service. She was the happiest girl on earth. And thanks to this new structure that I had put in place, we became on the insurance company, and back in the day was Allianz. We became on the Allianz honor roll. So it was like we went from, they were failing audits to we went all the way up to 92% on our next audit. And what did I do? I set goals. I got a clear direction. I got people engaged by getting them feeling important, feeling valued, by having fun in the branch, by doing lunch meetings, by doing potlucks, by doing fun things. I changed the energy in my workplace and the results went through the roof. Lesson 10, the most valuable person. The business principle here is effective leadership. You know, if the leadership is weak or not good or not structured or negative or has a bad temper, a bad energy, a bad attitude, or gives out, negative sarcastic remarks, that's going to kill the team. Remember the NHL team I was talking to you about? It was the vibe with the coach, with the team players. It was good. It was always good. He said they would put music in the room before getting on the ice to bring up that frequency so that everyone is feeling pumped. Not like, oh my God, this is game 4 of Stanley Cup Challenge and, all intense. No, it's frequency. You have to be in a good vibe. And, and it's, again, you have to be in a good vibe to get the ideas to bring your team and your group to the next level. Because if you're in a low frequency, you're depressed and you only see the dark and it's like, oh my God, this won't work. And because this salesperson is no good and this one has a bad attitude. No, when you learn these principles, you change your leadership. And as a leader, you become, and someone said, oh, well, it's not this portion is not relevant to the personal life. I'm like, absolutely. Moms have, and dads too, of course. But yeah, when it's the moms that's staying at home and you need leadership to run your house and, for the kids and the homework and the sports and everything, and you could do it in a really angry, negative attitude. I have 2 boys. One is 23, the other one is 28. One played professional hockey. So we were in the hockey life for many years. And you had parents that, oh, we're still here at the arena and this and that. And me, because I had 7 siblings, brothers and sisters with, that were much older than me. So my nephews and nieces were all grown up, many of them when I started having my kids. So one thing that I did see is, man, time flies. So I'm going to appreciate these moments. I'm going to cherish them because I know how fast they are done. And, again, the energy there, the energy around your kids, I can see today. My son would always tell me, Mom, I love our relationship. You, me, and Dad, like in Zach. He's like, all of my friends, they don't have beautiful relationships like that. The kids either hate their parents or how their parents speak to them and how they treat them, how they make them feel small. So that's why these principles, they wake us up, personal, business, relationship, everything's, because that moves on to the next lesson, where it's leaving everyone we meet with the impression of increase. So, and the business principle here, it's profit through service. But if you look at it in a personal way, I was trying to be consciously aware of how I spoke to my kids, because again, I would see someone in my family where they were always happy with all the strangers. But then when it was their child or their husband that would speak to them, what's wrong? Nah, nah. Or even to me, as a little sister. And then one day I said to this person, I'm like, do you realize you are super nice, bubbly with everyone, but when it comes to the people you're supposed to love the most on earth, you're the grumpiest with them. And I give you this example, in my family, but I've seen it in many, many, many families. So stop, take a minute, and be aware, what's your energy? How do you come home at night? How do you show up at the door? So, so these life principles, that's why it changed my life completely, because I never talked down to my kids. I never talked to them with a negative attitude. And I don't talk to my husband that way either. And he doesn't talk to me that way either. It's always in a good vibe. And if we are, I don't know, hormonal or something happens. And, if I do say something and it comes out little rude, and my husband now with all these principles, like, babe, what's up? And I'm like, what? He's like, I don't know. Are you angry? Like you were a little intense. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I guess no, I wasn't, I didn't think about it, and you're right. And so we help each other, and we live according to these principles, and not say, hey, why are you talking to me like that? What's your problem? And I hadn't yelled at him or nothing, but it was just I was, intense maybe a little bit or something. And but because we know these principles, and we understand that good vibes, love, positive energy, that is the most powerful on earth. That's why they say don't fight fire with fire. Come to it from a place of love and kindness. When I was talking about the post I did this morning, and this person was saying to me that they were having a hard time with their daughter, and she was intense, and I'm like, but how are you showing up? I'm showing up frustrated. So I'm like, you think she's going to bloom into the person you want her to be, into doing the activities you want her to do, and going out to, pursue a job, when she feels, you're putting her down? And just that a few minutes of a discussion, and he's like, oh my God, I didn't realize. And yes, he's like, oh my God, I just realized I don't treat her how I treat her brother. She must think that I don't love her as much as her brother. I'm like, absolutely, she must think that. So I'm like, you got to go fix that quick. She still lives in your house now. Don't wait till she's moved out, and you never see her, and she's just gone now with that negative relationship. That, yeah, she'll say hi, she'll be okay with you, and but there'll be no bond and no connection. So it's, I saw a video one day, and he's like, how did he say, real success is when your grown kids, real success is not about money. Real success is when your grown kids still want to come and hang out with you. So that is the type of success that I want, you know, and that we have, that my grown kids, we love to talk about this stuff. We love to brainstorm. We love to see, oh, mom, I'm having a hard time with this. Like, what do you think is missing? What am I not doing? And then it's like, boom, turns around right away. But those were old discussions. Now it's like, mom, the other day, my golf tournament wasn't sold out. I got back to my lessons, doing my auto suggestions, my programming, my visualization. Boom, it was sold out within 4 days. And I'm like, of course, buddy, of course it was. So, it's life principles. That's why this program is so life changing. Are we good on time? 1 o'clock. And finally, the last lesson is lesson 12, magnifying the mind. So here it's all about team problem solving. So it's creating mastermind meetings, because when you get in the place that 10 minds, 10 brains are way more powerful than just one. But again, there's principles in doing this. So this is to give you a general idea. What are the topics? And we'll get into them, to each of them in a few minutes, on how fun this could be. And I'll give you stories and examples, and for every area of your life, of what these lessons do, how come it changes. You know, I have beautiful clients, and they're like, oh my God, Tammy, it's like people need to know this. And I'm like, I know. And so that's why, we have many thinking into results consultants, and we want to make an impact in the world and show people and teach them. And we all have our own style and our own things that we bring to the table. But, these are life tools. So this was just a picture of me in 2019. after becoming a consultant, my first time going to meet Bob Proctor at my consultant training. So, it was again, even with this, that I've released now over almost 40 pounds. And just by changing my self image, by changing my thoughts, my feelings. So, it was a great chance and privilege to be able to be in his presence, to be coached by him in person. We thank God for recordings. We'll have him close to us for the rest of our lives with this program. Thankfully, he put it on into a system for us to be able to continue to share. Some people don't like to read. And so by doing this, because it's visual, because it's videos, we listen to 20-minute videos every single day of Bob putting new information into our mind, new principles. And that's why this program is so different than any other, because it's the repetition. We do 12 lessons over 24 weeks. So that means we spend 2 weeks per lesson, 2 weeks on studying, listening to Bob on that particular subject. So, and what is really amazing, I don't know if you guys know Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he is a doctor, and he's brought all the science behind the principles that Bob has been teaching for the past 60 years, that came from, the book that Napoleon Hill wrote after he met with Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, Edison, and all those 500 people that were the most successful. And he came with all the common tools and the common things that brought them to the success. And it wasn't a marketing plan. It's all starting with the mind and the frequency and the vibration. So now, you guys are aware, you've heard of physics, quantum physics. And so quantum physics now can explain and prove all these thoughts and these processes. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, he can prove that our thoughts are the electricity that goes out in the quantum field. And that's why I put that image. You have to be aware, because what you think, what you say, that's all creation. The creation process is through our thoughts, our words, and our feelings. So if you're speaking words of, you're putting your kid down, you're putting that person down, that is like throwing a curse to them, because words have a frequency, have an energy frequency. Thoughts have an energy frequency that can be measured, and feelings have an energy frequency that can be measured. So if you're putting your kid down, your wife down, your husband, your staff, just with your demeaning comments, like, I've been around the corporate world for many years, and there's some bosses that were in there that's like, oh my God, you need to get out of here and fast. Like, and for some of you, you may have seen it with teachers. There's some teachers that are phenomenal. But there are other teachers that destroy kids. Like, there was one teacher that completely destroyed my husband's self-esteem when he was in grade 6, and humiliated him. So that made him hate school. So, who are the people around you? What are they thinking? What are they saying? If you're around people that's always negative, well, guess what? You're going to have that in your life. Your life's going to be hard and heavy. So it's all energy, it's all frequency. The feeling, so again, Dr. Joe Dispenza, they can prove that the feeling is the magnetic power in the quantum field that pulls back the experience with daily visualization. So don't be afraid that today you had a negative thought, and that, you thought that, oh my God, your son is gone on vacation and the plane's going to crash. Well, you're not going to create that instantly because you thought about it, you felt it. It's repetition, and it's over time. And it's also becoming aware, and it's like, okay, do I want to create this? No, I don't want to create this. So I need to cut those thoughts from my thinking. And how do we do that? We're going to get into that. So our thoughts are the electricity that goes out in the quantum field, and what pulls back the experience is our feeling. So that's why I was saying, be careful. You know, if you're thinking, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. When I was diagnosed with cancer, of course I did have that thought, and I did have that feeling, and I did cry, and I did get that fear inside of me, but I knew I couldn't stay in it. I knew I had to flip it and to change it. So that's why, working with Bob, it's like, help me change that feeling, because if I would have stayed in that frequency that I was doomed, that I was done, of course my thoughts are sending it out. My feeling is that I'm going to die. Guess what? We're in perfect alignment, and I would have probably died. And it was interesting. I was at a barbecue 2 weeks ago, and someone was asking me a bit of my story and stuff, and I said that I had cervical cancer, and then the lady next to her, she goes, our friend that passed away? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, did you know she had cervical cancer? And I'm like, no, I didn't know. And I'm like, honestly, I don't even know what the odds are or the stats are on pancreatic cancer or cervical cancer, because I refused to go read on it. And my son was like, Mom, don't put your head in the sand. You have to face these things. And I'm like, nobody. It's not putting my head in the sand. It's keeping my thoughts and my feeling aligned with, I'm going to be okay. But if I go read that only 5% or 10% make it through this cancer, or only 20% or whatever, that's going to play with my mind. That's going to play with my frequency. And that's going to make me have a really hard time to send positive thoughts out there and to feel that I'm getting healthier. So I'm like, you know what? I want nothing to do with it. But what did I do though? I went to this book. This book is called The Encyclopedia of Ailments and Diseases. So, and it's from Jacques Martel. In French, it's the same author, Jacques Martel. So here, instead of just popping a pill because you're anxious, popping a pill because you're depressed, popping a pill because something's going on, with this book, you're gonna go see what is going on mentally that is affecting me in my body. Because disease, hyphenate the word. It's dis-ease. It's a body that's not at ease. So why this program brings so much awareness? Because it brings awareness of what is my responsibility in bringing disease into my life? What were my thoughts and feelings? How did I bring this into my life? So when I got the news about the cancer, I went into the book and I said, the first time in 2016, when I didn't have all these tools and they found the mass on my pancreas, it was the size of an orange. And my friend's father, we were both diagnosed at the same time in January and April. We both saw the same doctor. And his mass on his pancreas was the size of a green pea. Mine was the size of an orange. And we were in the Quebec waiting list. And I'm like, no, it's like, I'm not staying on a waiting list. I knew pancreatic cancer was pretty big. And after they went to do the biopsy, but again, I didn't read on it, didn't know the stats, but I knew it was big. When they went to do the biopsy, they put me asleep. And then after, they woke me up and they said, Madame, we didn't do it. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they said, it really looks like cancer. So if we just poke a little hole to take some of the liquid's going to spread in your body. So we're not going to take anything and we're going to leave it there. And our recommendation is operate as soon as possible and send it afterwards to get it analyzed. So that's what we did. But it was like I was visualizing, I was seeing myself that I was good. I was seeing my kids having kids and that I would grow old, to put all of my thoughts and my feelings and my energy into creating that I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. And, and this faith is what, or this repetition is what made me call the Princess Margaret Cancer Center and not just stay on a waiting list in Quebec. So I called. So my appointment was in April. They saw me, my appointment with the doctor in Montreal, was in April, and I left there devastated. And I'm like, oh my God, he's not going to operate me. And I called the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, thanks to a beautiful friend called Anna Maria, who she found the Princess Margaret for me, gave me the telephone number. And I called there. They saw me within 3 days, and they operated within 20 some days. So in May, the mass was out of me. It was sent out for the results, and it came back at the pre-cancer stage. So I was happy. I was doing great. And then that was in May. 2 months later, my friend's father, with the mass the size of a green pea, he passed away. And that's where I crashed. So, the first time I didn't have all of I had some of the tools, and I did well, and I did good, and I visualized and took all of that into my body. But after he passed away, and I had like a survivor's guilt, and, the mom freaked out at the funeral home, and she's like, why is he dead? You're okay. And so that really messed me up. But again, it was all a gift in disguise, because that's what brought me to work with Bob Proctor. And now, it's my passion and my mission to wake up everybody. If your business is going down, it's because your predominant thoughts and your predominant feelings is that, oh my God, my business is going to go down, and it's going down. And, someone the other day told me, well, that's the truth. Look at the numbers. Yeah, it may be the truth right now, and that's the numbers right now. But if you don't change your thoughts and your feelings, it's just going to continue to go down. Change your thoughts and feelings, get into the frequency of, you know what? I need to get innovative ideas. What can I do? How can I turn this ship around? And then when you shift the energy to solutions, to focusing on solutions, to asking solutions, to calling people to find solutions, boom, that ship starts to turn. So it's being aware. In your couple, oh, well, we have separate rooms now. We're not doing good. Okay, bring me out pictures when you were connected, when you were in love, and then we'll bring in these tools. So there is a process, a creation process, and it all starts with our thoughts. So now when there's people around me, I warn them. I'm like, listen, when they're coming into training sessions, I'm like, today, throughout the process, if you verbalize negativity towards yourself, towards other, I'm just going to interrupt you to interrupt the pattern, because most of the time people don't even realize. And even if you tell them, oh, well, you said that, they're like, I didn't say that. And, one time one of the employees was like, I will bet you my paycheck I didn't say that. I'm like, well, don't bet your paycheck, because our calls are recorded. So my point is that people were not aware. It comes out, we're negative and we don't even realize it, or we put ourselves down and we don't even realize it. So it's consciousness, becoming aware of all these things, and it booms your life. So lesson one, what do you want? What do you really want? And if you don't know what you want, the universe can't send it to you. So whether it be in your work, what do you want for your sales goals? Where do you want your business to go? How far, how fast, where, what? So it's time consuming to build, but it's the most productive and exciting things to build, and what does that mean, building your worthy ideal? So I have examples here for you guys. So you can either create a vision board or a vision book. I created a vision book 2 years ago because every weekend I was going to my land. And because what we want to do is get clear on where we're going, what we want, and then impress it on our subconscious mind with repetition. So here I had, this was my goal book. Everything that I wanted, my goals, the images associated to, what I wanted to create, and then have it in writing. What I wanted, the travels that I want to do, the courses I want to take with Tony Robbins. I will take courses for the rest of my life. I will continue growing for the rest of my life. And, I initiated my boys to this. I brought my boys to see Tony Robbins in Chicago. And we spent a week there in training, and it was life transformative for them, and me working with Bob was so transformative in my health and in my couple, that then my youngest son's like, Mom, I want to become a consultant like you. Can you imagine if I'm bringing these tools to the kids and how it can change their lives and their self image? And I'm like, Zachary, it could even save them from committing suicide. Like, this is so amazing that you want to do this. So my son became a consultant, did the same training, and now, he's also a certified personal trainer. So he works out with the kids, but he does 30 minutes of training, and the other 30 minutes, it's self image, it's mindset, it's feeling, it's energy, it's, learning about ourselves. So you can have a vision book, or I created, so I sit here, 8 to 10 hours a day, and in front of me, right there's a wall. So, and I put my vision board and things I want to create on the wall in front of me, but I put them on giant stickies. That way, if I have, clients coming and I want my things to stay private, I can just take off my stickies and put them away. And then I can go and put them back up. And it's not just serious things. It has to be fun things too. Yes, of course, there's the business, there's the serious, that's all in here. But, look at this one. It's to have I want a section on my land of an amusement park for kids for when they come. Because by talking about my land and setting worthy goals, my first homework that I did with Bob Proctor, like, what do you want? What do you really want? And I was like, I don't oh, well, there's something that I want, but I don't have the money for it. And he's like, never mind that. What do you really want? Pretend that, money's not an object. What is your true desire? And I'm like, oh, I want a land. I want a farm. I want animals. I want to do coaching on my land one day and have a school, but people come in nature and learn these concepts. And he's like, write it, put it on your vision board. So I cut a little image of my land that I wanted, and I wanted to live there. Within 8 months, I attracted to myself a beautiful, amazing 13-acre land, and I paid $1,800 for it, for 13 acres. Everyone will say, well, that's impossible. And that's why in everything we do here, never, ever, ever do we concentrate on the how. The how will come to you. Our only job is to get our thoughts in line with our feelings. So Mia was like, I'm so excited. I'm going to get a farm soon. I don't know how. I don't know where. I don't know how, but it's going to come into my life. And Bob was like, just play with it. If you don't believe it in the beginning, just play with it. And within 8 months, I paid $1,800. And, that's not logical, but that happened, and that's true. And that's why, if I would have tried to imagine how all of this scenario would come about, it's almost impossible. It was a crazy situation. And so the how is not your problem. The only thing we need to do is to get clear. So that's how also in my branch, how I got the goals to go to boom. Okay, guys, the next year is coming. And this is the time, September, October, this is the time. Insurance brokers, companies, insurance advisors, marketing level companies. This is now that we're preparing your 2024. Where are you going? What do you want? What does it look like? Who do you want to be in 2024? I had to change my whole self image to become this person. I couldn't see myself at first as a coach. I'm a branch manager. I know insurance. I have all my courses in insurance. But my passion was in doing this. And so I went all into study, started part-time, and I just built it gradually over the years. And guess what's happening with my land now? I'm doing outdoor seminars and retreats out there. People are coming and they're flipping out on, oh my God, Tammy, just walking into this forest is so powerful. And it is. But it all started with a vision. So this is how it works. 124. Moving on quickly. Knowing doing gap. So here, how to turn a negative behavior into a positive behavior. And how do we do that? With a process, a repeatable process that changes any habit. You want to quit smoking, quit drinking, Quit being in toxic relationships. You want to start, outsourcing, doing your sales, calling people, doing outbound calls, going out and prospecting, going out and networking events and changing, oh, I'm very timid. How do I get out there? By following the process. Your infinite mind. So, it's, you see the 8 of energy here. So our mind is so infinite. You've all heard about this, that we use maybe only 5% of our mind. So, here it's understanding how it works, how to get permanent results. Well, you need to change your paradigm. And that was all lesson 2. Why we're stuck? It's because of paradigms. And what are paradigms? They're automatics. So I'm going to come back a few times and say, what are paradigms? So to see if, if you can blur it out before I say it. And by the way, I can't see your questions. But if during the presentation you have any questions, please feel free, send a message, and Ruth is going to share the questions with me, and I'll be able to answer them. So for permanent improvements in the results, the paradigm must be changed. And to change a paradigm, you must change a habit. So like I was saying, a paradigm is just an automatic. You have some have very low self-image, so low self-esteem. So that can be changed. That is just, I had another client the other day. She's like, I'm very negative. I'm negative towards myself, and I'm always putting myself down. And I'm like, oh my God, did something happen? Did a situation happen? And that, for someone to destroy your energy like that. And she's like, oh, she was thinking, and she's like, no. I'm like, okay, so where did you see that? You saw that around you, because she's just 19 years old. So I'm like, where did you see that? Someone in your entourage, in your family, in your work, where did you see that? And then she's thinking, and then she goes, oh my God. And I'm like, what? She's like, it's my dad. He's always putting himself down. So I'm like, so you see what we've been talking about, it's something that was programmed into you. So I said to her, it's not you, it's what you learned. Now, if you learn something new, you can change that and become that new person, but like anything, it's, you can't understand all of these principles and never apply them. Understanding this is not enough. You'll never get anywhere. It's in the repetition, the application. I have a community, the people that are doing the program, we meet every week. So, and I give you all the support that you want, in the sense that I have a morning club. You're welcome to come. And also, I'm offering the morning club here to everyone free for the next 2 months. But come and live it. Come and see it. We get up. It's it's called Rise and Shine. And you get up and you come and you focus and you connect to your goal and you write it and you deliberately replace it with, a positive habit. And showing up in the morning, coming up, is replacing old habits. And that's how behaviors change. It's doing something new. And you've all heard of the quote, insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a change. Well, this is why people who invest time in learning this, and it's not hard to study, because you're not sitting and studying a book. You're going to walk your dogs and you're listening to Bob Proctor for 20 minutes every day on this lesson. Like lesson 3, your infinite mind, for 2 weeks, twice a day. So, for 14 days, you'll have listened to the same video 28 times. And that's how you know these principles off the top of your head. That's how you can talk to them, talk to people about them. That's why you've changed inside, because you internalize them with the repetition on your subconscious mind. So it is so powerful, so powerful. And so if you don't want to come in the morning club, it's from Monday to Friday from 6 to 6:30 in English, 6:30 to 7. And that, I give it free for those who do the Thinking into Results program. They don't pay for that. They don't pay for the seminars that I do in nature. It's all included in the Thinking into Results program. So I am devoted to support you, to support the people. And it's because of my caring and devotion that, like, my clients are boom, boom, boom. They have results. One client started last year. She's like, I don't want your program. And she is very financially, she has her own business, her husband has a different business, like they have money. And she's like, I have all the money in the world, Tammy, but I am so anxious, it's not even funny. So she's like, I'm coming here just for my anxiety. Okay, perfect. I work with her 2 3 months, and then she's like, oh my god, I can't believe there's no more anxiety in my life. So I'm like, okay, now let's go to goal setting. So I'm like, I'm going to share the lesson one, thinking into results. It's open for everyone. So I'm like, we're going to do something. We're going to, even you haven't purchased the program, I'm going to give you the lesson one of thinking into results. And for the next 2 weeks, we're going to work on setting your goals. You listen to Bob just to get some ideas, to get some perspective. And then we come back on the call and then we develop those ideas. So, Bob is really the trainer. I'm the facilitator. I help you now break through. What did he talk about? How did you interpret it? How can we go to the next level? So, it's by doing these things that's how life booms and opens and goes to the next level. So I gave her the lesson one, and then she started listening to it. And then she's like, oh my God, I want to buy your Thinking into Results program. I need Bob in my life. I need him in my ears every day. She's like, I would love to have you in my ears every day. But since, it's only live, she's like, I'm up at 5 in the morning. I do my exercise. I'm listening to Bob. And I'm like, that's it. We change our frequency because we're changing our thoughts. Do you know, by the way, how many thoughts we have a day? Over 70,000 thoughts a day. And 80% of them are the same as yesterday. So if you're stuck in the past and the drama of the past and the hurt of the past and the a failure of the past, guess what's coming up in your mind today? More of that. How do we interrupt that? By listening to Bob, listening to these principles, by coming into our meetings, by starting your mornings in the morning club, because now we're grounded, we're focused, we're writing our goal, we're doing the repetition on our subconscious mind. You're coming every week into, I have Tuesdays, it's in English, and Thursdays, it's in French. And, it's like hearing stories. And sometimes it's, breakthroughs that the people have had in their group that they share a little something that helps another person break through. But it's studying these lessons. Another one of my TIR clients this morning was saying, she's like, you know what? I'm so glad I had the TIR lessons and that I've been doing them for the past 2 years, because with the tragedy that we just had, like 2 weeks ago, she's like, before, the old me would have lost it. And today, with these tools, it was like, no, I'm grounding myself. I'm keeping my thoughts clear. I'm keeping my thoughts focused. I'm going to create. So, these are tools for life. Um, the next lesson, The Secret Genie, again, you're listening to this for 2 weeks, understanding the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind. We all know our conscious mind is, I want this, I want that. It's what we're consciously aware. And in the subconscious, that's where the automatics are. That's where the programming is. And, and if you want how to gain control over your thoughts and what you think and how you think, this lesson is going to show you how the law of attraction works to help you achieve any goal you want. So that's why the program is done, whether it's for your business or personal, the process is the same. The creation process, the law of attraction, the mind, it's all the same. So, if your goal is to have a Ferrari, you can do that. If your goal is to have a billion-dollar company, you can do that. If your goal is to get disease out of your body, you can do that. If your goal is to save your marriage, you can do that. But it all first starts with your thoughts. And of course, with a person that is also wanting to work at this marriage. So it's a repeatable formula that can be used to change any result you are unhappy with. People, I coach 8-year-old kids, and the kids are the best. Like, I work with, to show the kids, I have actual magnets to show them. I have negatives that look, you're pushing on it and you can feel the resistance. You can feel something pushing away. And like there's nothing there, it's invisible. So when I show kids that energy exists, even though we can't see it, and I ask them, if your mommy or daddy come home and they're mad, can you know even before they speak to you? And they're like, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So I'm like, that's energy. You feel their energy, you feel their frequency. So, studying the mind, this lesson, this is what we do for 2 weeks. And you understand how your mind works. And that's how you get rid of anxiety. Because, like I say, we don't catch anxiety. It's something that starts with your mind, that goes down into your feelings. And then you can build it up in your mind into a full on anxiety panic attack, and that you think that you're dying. And you're not faking it. This is real. All the symptoms are real. Everything is real. But what you must understand is it starts from you, because you don't know how to manage your thoughts. Like I didn't know how to manage my thoughts. Like I had anxiety in my work, and that's what made me, I was eating and very stressed out because I didn't know how to manage my thought. I thought I was a victim of catching cancer, a victim of, things that were happening to me, of that, our couple was hard and things were difficult. No, because my thoughts were, what if it happens like my parents? What if? And while I put my energy and my frequency there, that's what I was attracting. When I changed my thoughts of, no, I'm in a loving, beautiful, prosperous relationship. Well, guess what happened? Everything turned around. And you know what? You don't even have to have a meeting with a person. I was having a difficulty with a person in my entourage, and it was very stressful. And then when I learned these concepts, I'm like, whoa, before I go to this person's house, because I have to, because they're, in my environment, it's like I'm always anxious, nervous. Oh my God, what is he going to say to me now today? What is he going to do? And then I would get nervous, and then my husband would get nervous, and oh my God, and when we learn all these these steps, and it's like, okay, no, I'm going to visualize, and I'm going to send good thoughts, good feelings, good vibes, because I was also able to learn in my natural therapist course that everything has a frequency. So I didn't have a meeting with this person to say, listen, I have had enough of, this tension between us. I want it to stop. No meetings, no nothing, but I changed my thoughts, my feelings, my frequency, my visualization, my writing on the situation, and everything turned around. Absolutely everything. So, and that's why we always say it all starts with us. I remember a difficulty when we were younger, and my husband, and, but I was like, well, it's not my fault. He's doing it. But when I changed my perspective to say, you know what, you want to do that? That's good. You continue that way. I'm going on another route. And that all came from Herbalife, because our president back then, the founder, creator, Mark Hughes, he was like, for life to change, you must change. And he got that probably from Jim Rohn, because Jim Rohn was his best friend. And so for life to change, you must change. For things to change, you must change. So I don't care what situation it is, if your spouse is an alcoholic, if for life to change, you must change. And you're going to learn these tools, and you're going to learn things, and so powerful. Lesson 5, thinking into results. So we're so used of our mental faculties of, what we can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. So that's all the visible, the tangible. But in this lesson, it's called Thinking into Results. It's the name of the program, but also the name of this specific lesson. We go into our mental faculties and learning to, understand, if you change your perception about a situation, the whole thing can change. We were talking about, sometimes how kids perceive their parents, but if they understood the suffering behind the situation, it would change everything. Imagination. Instead of saying, oh, I have no imagination. No, there's a way to open your imagination, to develop your imagination. Intuition. Intuition picks up vibrations and translate those vibrations. And now that I'm aware of my intuition and my husband and my kids, and this is how we talk now at home. So yesterday I had a computer techie guy because my computer blew up yesterday before this event. So he came and he's like, I don't understand what's not working and this and that. And he was there and looking, because I couldn't do Facebook Lives on my computer, but I have two screens. And then, listen, I am so not techie, like I am the worst tech person. But there's just an idea that came, an intuition, like it's not a voice, it's not God that said, Tammy, but I just heard, like I just had the idea of unplug the monitor. So I said to him, did you try and unplug the monitor? And he's like, no, why? I said, I don't know. It's just an idea. It's just a suggestion. I didn't want to tell him, oh, well, my intuition just told me. So he's like, it won't change it. He looks at me, it won't change anything, but I'll do it anyway. So he unplugs it, he pushes on the button, and it works. So he looks at me and he's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I don't know. It was just a suggestion. It was just an idea. But now that I'm in tune with my intuition, I listen to these messages and it's crazy. But when you're not even aware, so that's why in the beginning of this, I said the program is also a program of awareness, new awareness for new possibilities. So we learn about the will, how to, and that's why when you're studying the will and you learn about the will, that you can stop smoking, stop drinking, stop doing whatever is a difficulty in your life, because we learn these tools. If we look at the image on the right, and everything starts with a thought, with an idea. Ideas, which causes our feelings. So if they're negative ideas, you're going to get a negative feeling. The feeling causes the action. So again, why we have to be mindful of our thoughts, because if I have positive thoughts, I'm going to have a good feeling. If I'm in the good feeling, I then have the courage to do my Facebook Lives or to do outbound calls. But if I come back and I'm in a thought of, I'll never be able to do this, I'm afraid, and then my feeling is a feeling of nervousness and being anxious, what are my actions? I'm not taking action. I'm not taking, great actions, because I'm in this whole vibe and this whole frequency of my thinking and panics and fear. And so what will it produce? It will produce negative results and bad results or low results. So, whether it be health, money, or anything, it all starts with our thoughts. Excuse me. Moving on to lesson 6. Lesson 6 is our environment is but our looking glass. So, how many times have you seen in a family, they're all brought up by the same parents, but they don't have the same situation, memory of the home environment. Some think it was toxic. Others thought, no, my parents did the best they could with what they had. And so, and that's exactly what it is. Our parents did do the best they could with what they had. So no use being upset and frustrated at what they lacked. Let's learn from what they lacked. Let's improve. Let's break the generational curse here and improve it and bring it to another level by breaking the generational paradigm. Because most of the time it's sent down generation through generation, and you can even have cultural paradigms. One of my friends, she's like, oh, it's our Latina paradigm. I'm like, exactly it is, because, because at first she's like, well, it's normal to get angry. We're humans. And I'm like, no, it's not normal. It may be normal in your environment, what you saw, but for some people, it's not normal. And, I'll never forget my stepfather who said, because he would never get mad. He would never get upset. He would never give attitude to my mom. He would never talk down to her. He was just always, always kind, loving, in a good frequency. And he said to me one day, he said, Tammy, tell me one situation that you were not able to come out of, that, So I looked at him and I'm like, I don't know. There's nothing. I've always come out. He's like, exactly. We always find the solution. We always find a way. But you have a choice to be in this negative frequency and this panic attack freak out. Or it's like, okay, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting this today, but what can I do? Where do we go from here? How are we going to deal with this? How are we going to deal with this situation? It's a choice. It's a choice, and it's also what you've learned, what you've seen. So, if you come from a place where they panic right away, well, I had the blessing to see Jacques, my stepfather, and his knowledge and his calmness and, you know, his experience and what he brought into my life was so beautiful and powerful. So in lesson 6, it's all based on your self-image. If your business is not lifting, if you're a distributor and your business is not lifting, or if you purchase a business that had been in effect for many years and was doing great, but when you purchased it, you're like, oh my God, what if I'm not good enough? What if it goes into the dumps, but it's been around for many years? Well, if that's your thoughts and if that's your feelings, and that's what's going to happen. You understand that we have to be in a high frequency to attract these new clients, these new ideas. And when we're in a low frequency, it's the negativity that creeps into our life. So, many people have a negative self-image, and that's why life is rough and life is hard. So we need to change the self-image by following the creative steps, by following the tools, the repeatable tools that we give you. And we're going to write the script of a new story, and that's how I work with businesses. Regardless of your numbers yesterday, last month, last year, today, what do you want your business to look like? And now we're creating the image of that business. When I was still in the corporate world, I had to coach a lady that was a branch manager, and her branch wasn't doing well. So I explained to her all these concepts, and I'm like, listen, it's not because of you, but the solution will come from you. But I said, the first thing you need to do, you need to send me a detailed email, like you're writing me a letter of your new team. Oh my God, Tammy, just wanted to, share with you, my team is engaged. Our numbers are going up week after week. We work in a harmonious, friendly environment. And that was all of the contrary of what she was living. So, we're working, excuse me, in this harmonious environment. And, it's like collaboration is amazing. The team meetings are amazing. And she looked at me and she's like, but that's all crap right now. That's not true. And I'm like, yes, I know it's not true right now. But would you like this to be true? And she's like, oh my God, that would be my dream. So I'm like, it starts by writing it. Write it out. Send me the email of this written story. And I promise you, it did not even take 30 days. And her branch turned around completely. Was it her fault? No, it wasn't her fault. There was true negativity. There was angry people, negative people, but she learned the tools to turn their energy around, to turn things around. And it started with her thoughts and her feelings and her story on her branch. So, get out of the actual story and focus on the new story. Get out of the actual story if your bank account is low or if whatever that may be. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water. Thank you. So it's getting on a new vision, a new frequency. That's what, coming to our rise and shine every morning does. And another person, she's like, wow, I woke up feeling like my old self. I had a bad dream and I woke up and I was all upset. But she's like, within, 15 minutes of our morning club, she's like, everything had changed. The frequency had changed. She's like, no, that's old. That's not me. This is where I'm going. So it's like, she's like, I'm addict. I need it now because it's the best self-love pill without taking a pill that you can do for yourself. And it's in the repetition and the consistency. And I think that was my life challenge. My biggest thing, I could not be consistent before. But with accountability, we do accountability partners and teams. And, So this will change your life, your relationship, your couple, your business, but it's becoming aware. It's like, oh my God, I wasn't aware. And did you know, if we're here, we're talking about self-image. So what is the image you hold of yourself? Did you know that you can never surpass that self-image until you become aware? So, you know, for me, when I wanted to become a consultant, still working at my corporate job, I was torn on, oh my God, I don't see myself as a consultant. I've been 25 years in insurance. Like, how can I dive into another industry? But this industry is my passion. This is what I love to do. So there was a lot of turmoil in my head, and that caused me disease, and then surgery, and then gallbladder, and then this and that. But it's what's really interesting is when those diseases came about, you take the book and you go read and you go see what's going on mentally. So, we have to change our self image. We have to become aware what is going on mentally, what is blocking us. And when I realized, because I would always say, I don't want to be a millionaire. I don't want to be a millionaire. And then one day someone said to me, why? And I'm like, I don't know why. I just don't want to. And I had this intense feeling. And then when I did the program and we had to do the writing, because we have, like I said, a participant guide, a book, and this is to make us think. So it was in the book when I started writing. It's like, oh my God, I know why I used to say I didn't want to be a millionaire, because I had associated in my subconscious mind, everyone who becomes a millionaire, a tragedy happens to them. So I had like three people around me that I knew, not necessarily in my family, one in my family, but others, that weren't in my family, but in my environment. And it's like, as soon as they became millionaires, tragedy hit. So I want to be how I am now. It's like I have everything I need. And so, but it was a limiting belief that was impressed on my subconscious mind that I was not even aware of until I started doing the writing. And then it's like, no, there's many millionaires that are, happy and successful. And so I changed that limiting belief and that old paradigm because it doesn't serve me. So, one day someone said to me, is this like brainwashing? Yes, but you are washing your brain with what you want, with who you want to become, with what you want to achieve. Yes, I want to make lots of money, but for me, it's not about a Ferrari. I don't like cars. For me, I want to open a school. I want to build schools. I want to make an impact. Of course, I'm going to buy myself a nice car. But I mean, so we all have different goals and we all have different dreams that we're aspiring to. But what is your goal and what is your dream? So, if you're not there, it's just because of your self image, of the limit that you put. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too, whatever the limiting belief is, you need to be aware of it. And there's a way to change it. Oh my, 153 time has flown. So, and that's good because this was the last one that I really wanted to go in depth with. So we're going to wrap up terror barrier. And this is also where you understand anxiety and how to push through the terror barrier, how to get on the other side, which is freedom. So, and if you don't become aware, you'll probably stay most of your life in bondage. Bondage is you feeling stuck. And, some people will die like that because they never went for help and never went for guidance. So, it's pushing through and there's a process. Number 8, the power of praxis. So you see that in your conscious mind, you have an actual belief. And if it's not a good belief, well, then that's where you want to use your conscious mind to go change that belief and then impress on your subconscious mind what is the new belief that you want, with repetition, until it becomes into your physical body of, I know that it's coming to me. So the power of praxis is the integration of belief plus action. So, if you believe, you pray, you visualize, you do this, but you never take action, nothing's going to happen. We even study, can you imagine, attitude? What is attitude? So for 2 weeks, you're understanding attitude, and then you can share this with your kids. You can change your attitude because you want your kids' attitude to change. Like, it's the key to unlock success in everything, to unlock harmony in your world, in your house. And what is attitude? What is the composite of attitude? Well, it's our thoughts, it's our feelings, and it's our action. So having a good attitude is not just saying good things. It's, you can have a bad attitude towards yourself, towards others, but it's through the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions. The most valuable person, the leader. Do you consider yourself a leader? And how would you describe yourself? And like I was saying, this is being a leader in our own life. No more victim mode. No more, regardless of what happened in the past, we all have trauma, we all have tragedy or something difficult, and Oprah is aware of all these things. And they even teach it at Harvard. There's a joy class, a frequency, energy, understanding this. If Oprah would have stayed in the trauma of her childhood of being sexually abused and having a baby at 13 years old that died, no, that's just what happened to her. That's not who she is. And that's the same for all of us. Whatever tragedy happened to you in your past, that's not who you are. That's just what happened to you. Today, we can be anything we want, and we'll just write it, reprogram it, focus, visualize, repeat the process, repeat the steps, and it's absolutely doable. But it's not, not on our own. Lesson 11, leaving everyone with the impression of increase. So in my corporate job, just to change that, that I wanted every employee to feel good because they came into my office, to feel great because, we talked about solutions for their sales. And, it's becoming aware. Sometimes I wouldn't even meet them in my office because why am I coming to your office? What's wrong? Am I going to get fired? No, you're not going to get fired. So knowing that, it was like, okay, I want to leave them with an impression of increase, a good feeling. So I'm going to meet them in the boardroom and I'm going to sit next to them so that they can feel my energy and feel the support and feel that we're working on solutions together. So it's just tricks, tools that are life changing, and that, and also it's karma. Now that I'm giving out love, kindness, good energy to everyone, what's coming back to me? Only good things. And magnifying the mind with the masterminds. So, how to create these meetings, a meeting where we get everyone's engagement and everyone's good vibes, good energy, good intentions. And so, it's so powerful. And again, it wasn't me alone that brought our sales from 350,000 a month to 1 million. It's me implementing all these tools in my branch, now doing mastermind meetings, getting everyone's input, bringing my branch to the next level because of implementing these 12 steps. So that is it for me, guys, for my presentation. I'm just going to give you now, if you're interested, I'm giving you for free. Come and join me in the morning for our Rise and Shine. I'm giving it to you free, absolutely free, for 60 days. And that is Monday to Friday, every single week. We don't do anything on Saturday and Sunday. And, and just come and live the difference that it's going to do in your life. It's not hard, doesn't hurt. You can be in your pajamas, in your bed. You never have to open your camera. You don't even have to speak. Come just follow and get the energy of the team. My next offer is if you want to try thinking into results. If you just want to come with me, you whatever your budget is, if wherever your confidence is in wanting to go all in. If you want to go just gradually, start slowly, and just come do 4 months or 2 months with me, 4 lessons of thinking into results. So 8 weeks, of coming and living this process. For today, I have something that because this program, the Thinking into Results program, the 6-month program, having access to Bob Proctor's lessons and teachings for life, is usually a $9,000 program. But today, I have a special offer for just the people that are here on the call. I'm going to take off, if you want to purchase the program in a one full payment, I'm going to take off $1,000. And if you're not ready to put that kind of money and investment in, that is totally okay. If you want to just try 4 months and see, I'm letting for 4 months, $297 a month. Sorry, I said 4 months again. I meant 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months, because we're doing 4 lessons. Oh my God. I've been speaking for 2 hours. Sorry here that I'm a bit tired. But you know what? The best is just give me a call, take a picture, take my information here, because also for everyone, I'm giving a free 30-minute discovery call. Come and talk. I will talk about how I can change your business, your personal life, your health, whatever it is, it's free. Come and see if this resonates with you. Like I say, I have for every budget. And the other thing is I'm taking $1,000 off if you want the full program. But the biggest thing is I'm doubling the time. Usually it's $9,000 for 6 months. Now I'm giving it to you for $8,000 for 12 months. So for 1 year of coaching. And if, like I say, if that is too much for your budget, you want to start first at $297 a month. For 2 months, we'll do 4 lessons just so that you can see the value of this. We can start from there. And if not, I have also parents, mom and children sessions. If you want to go one-on-one here in my home, you come with your child. So really, it's whatever you need and whatever resonates with you. Don't wait another moment, because this is truly life changing in every aspect of our lives. And also the biggest heritage you can leave your children, because my kids now have great relationships because they know how to have a good couple, how to have a good relationship. They have a beautiful business, prospering, growing business like crazy. In different schools, they have their hockey program, but it's in the application of this. And my son, when he parted ways with his girlfriend of 7 years, he's like, Mom, I need to find a girl that's in line with me with this, that understands this, that wants to grow and teach this. He's like, I want to teach this to my kids. My kids need to know this. So if my wife is not open to this, that will never work. So, this is life-changing tools. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate it. And let's just have a call. Let's just have fun. And, it will be light. It's free. Come free in our morning calls. Come live the experience and come and try it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, Tammy. Wow. What a 2 hours of learning. I just love your stories.
Oh,
You,
thank you.
you,
Thank you.
you gotta tell us how you manifest those 13 acres of land for only $1,800. Did you write the price down?
The
Or
price, no, because the price is the how. Didn't know how much it would cost. But what I did do, I went on the internet, I found a piece of land. And when I was young, I had a horse. So for me, it was very important. So I cut a little fence and I had a horse in there and I put it on my vision board. And it was 8 months of having it in my face. Now, touch wood, things don't take me 8 months to manifest, but that was my first thing. So I wasn't sure, is this stuff real? Like, does this make sense? But now with all the data and the years now of studying this with Bob and, studying the program, going to other seminars, seeing Dr. Joe Dispenza that brings the science behind it. It's like, it's the other day, one of our friends, he says, oh, you're cute, but I don't believe in that. I'm like, oh, thank you for the compliment, but it's not a question of believing. It's if you tell me, oh, I don't believe that 2 + 2 is 4. I said, science can prove it now, so it's not. And we can't press pause. One lady the other day at your event, Ruth, she goes, but doesn't this scare you? That everything we think that, will manifest. I'm like, my God, no, it doesn't scare me anymore because now I know how it works. We have control now. Do I let myself stay in negative thoughts? Heck no. No more of that. Do I still go, when I got news, bad news or something? Yes, for a moment you'll be in there and it's like, okay, whoa, whoa, So, and that's why they're powerful. That's why it transforms everything, the life, the family, the kids, my grandkids. I know that my grandson is going to be brought up differently. I brought this in the lives, well, The Secret, the movie The Secret. Storm was 10 years old. He was a goalie. Zach was 6 years old. And that's where they started listening to it. So that was their routine every night before a hockey game or a hockey tournament. They had to listen to The Secret. They loved listening to it. They didn't mind, but they were 6 and 10. And that's when I started, implementing those thoughts into their mind. And of course, because of those tools, my son was drafted in junior hockey league at 14 years old, and usually it's later. And supposedly there's 1 in 7,000 kids that get drafted. So, and then going to Vancouver and then to the States. And he's like, Mom, I traveled everywhere. I saw all of Canada and I lived everywhere in the States too. And it's like, good for you. You built this.
Mhm.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
Mhm.
just about believing, alignment, and you know, just get your vibrational energy frequency high, then you can manifest it whenever you want it. But
Mhm.
you have to
But
be
when we
ready to
don't,
receive it.
but when we don't know how to align it, that's where the difficulty is, when we didn't study and have the tools or get support. So,
Exactly. Yes.
I,
Thank you very much. Wow. Ruth,
I
go.
like it was a great presentation as always, Tammy. Every time Tammy speak, I'm always like, her stories are so in depth, right? There's so much profoundness in it. One of the things that was actually new that I haven't heard that is that while you were working at the corporate and somebody was saying something, and he told you or somebody said, I didn't say that, and I bet you my paycheck.
mhm,
That's how unconscious he was. Because he
mhm,
didn't know, like, even though he said it, he wasn't conscious of the fact that he said it because it's part of his habit or it's part of his paradigm. And you're like, don't bet your paycheck, the call is recording.
yeah, exactly.
I can prove to you that you said it. So that was pretty funny. And actually, there's another thing as well. I was looking at scrolling through Instagram, and there was two lines. One of them that had pills and surgery. There was like 100 people just waiting in that line, and another line that had lifestyle change. you know, so basically, it's either you want the pill, like the pill, the surgery, whatever else, or do you actually want to change your life? And on the
Mhm,
chosen life, there was only one person, right? That's just to
mhm,
show you that most people, they want the fasting, they don't really want to do the work, right? But as you know, and as you've experienced, you were able to not only quit your career, which
mhm,
most people are miserable in, right?
mhm,
But you don't have the courage to step out, right? And you were able to cure yourself from disease, right?
mhm.
So definitely one of the most powerful manifestors that I've known. Yeah.
And I'm sure that if I wouldn't have listened to that, because when I got the news for the cervical cancer, I went to read what's going on, and so I don't know the words exactly, but I know it was exactly what I was living, and it was like, you're not trusting yourself. You feel stuck in a situation, and that you don't have the self confidence to get out of it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me. I want to leave the corporate world, but I can't because I'm making 6 figures and I'm, pension plan and benefits. And it's like it's brought disease, cancer in my body because of this negative frequency. Because, Sunday nights I was feeling terrible. So no work tomorrow. But I wanted to do a good job at work. But it was like this battle. It's like I'm coaching corporately now. Why why am I not, ecstatic and happy? Because I was still not following my truth of being free, of coaching kids and being at home and having people come here and doing, energy treatments, because now we're working with the mind. But okay, let's get rid of that old baggage of energy that comes from, other generations too. And I wasn't listening to my true purpose in life. So disease comes to wake us up, and some think they're doomed, so they're doomed, and others like, no, 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 okay, what can I do, what can I do? And
Mhm.
it's in the what can I do that I learned, that I grew, that, oh my god, okay, wow, geez, we should all know this. Why don't people know this, like, from scratch? But some do, some families do teach it from scratch. Ruth, you're teaching it to your kids. You too, Mina. Our sons are in another environment, if I can say, because it's another mindset, it's another language. And also, that's why what my sons now are attracting as parents, parents that want their kids to be, because sometimes it was the coaches that blew my son's mind and self-confidence, the negative coaches or the negative comments and the really. But it's they're doing volunteer work and they're just not aware. The old school coaches telling them you're a piece of crap, you don't know how, and they think that that's going to really stimulate him and get him engaged and frustrated to prove to me.
Mhm.
But that doesn't work like that anymore. It's
Mhm. I
Exactly.
was actually talking to, by the way, guys, if you guys want to take advantage of our offer, it's right here. You guys could see powerfulmanifestors.com/ Tammy's offer, hashtag page. So you'll be able to see your offer. So it's scrolling down. You guys could see it there. You'll be able to have access to the morning club, as she's mentioned, for 60 days. Also, we'll have the 30 minutes free discovery, in addition to her 2 months of taking into result, which
yeah.
is what she's explained earlier. But you guys will really go into in depth, and also, basically be aligned and manifest, or get closer, not closer,
Mhm.
but align yourself with the actual
Mhm.
teaching, because each lesson is a minimum of 1 or 2 weeks, right? So it's not just going quickly like she did right now, but you're actually going to be able to go and really align yourself and go through the teaching, and time is going to be there to coach you
Mhm.
along the way. Actually, early on today, this morning, I actually had a manager that I was speaking to, because some people think that the manager was saying that the people have a bad attitude at work because they don't get more money.
Mhm.
Like, that's not true, because this particular manager, this job was created for him, right? And it's like, if they had a great attitude, because you said attitude, that's where it came from, because I wrote it down. Attitude is everything. If
Yeah.
they have the right attitude, we could, the manager could have created an opportunity for them, right? The company
Mhm.
has money, they're just not giving it to them because of their attitude, right? But if you change your attitude, you come into work, you do all that stuff, you could write your own paycheck, right? So I remember actually Jim Rohn, as one of your mentor, would say that. It's, somebody would say, like, the company has more money, to pay me more money. How can I get out of it? It's like, no, the company has money. It's just not paying you, right?
Mhm.
That was a great example that you've mentioned. So yeah,
And
thank you for
And
that.
it's how can we be more valuable for the company? How can we bring more value? Then your paycheck is going to go up, you know?
Exactly.
And I had brought stats, I had looked up statistics, and it said that 69, so almost 70% of people will stay in a job because of the energy, the atmosphere, the feeling, yes, there is a 30% that are going to go just for money, money, money. Yes. Okay. But 70% are there for the energy. And where does that come from? It comes from the top. It comes from the leader.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Yeah, like, yeah, that's a very good one. And the last thing I wanted to add, based on your presentation, is the legacy, right? Your son that doesn't want to be with a partner that
mhm,
doesn't understand that. I'm the same way. I would never be with somebody that doesn't understand the law or is not open to it. Life,
exactly.
again, there's only two. The two most important decision in life is your career, right, and who you marry.
Hmm.
So you may want to make sure you make the right decision, or else
Yeah.
you really have a miserable life.
Because if not, you're going that way, and then the person's pulling you down. Was my husband open to this when I started? Absolutely not.
Mhm.
But on the leader lesson, I'm like, I know I'm going to be the leader in my family, and I'm going to guide my husband, and I'm going to guide my kids to get these principles to change all of our lives. Oh, I have goosebumps now up to into my head. So, and that's exactly what we've done.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
That is the attitude of a leader.
Exactly.
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 But thanks to Bob and Sandy for putting this into a program, because now, bless his soul, Bob has left us, but we have a system in place, to bring these teachings, to bring this to. I'm even starting soon in a school, a private school.
Mhm.
So the directrice in English, the principal,
Principle.
principal and owner, so we had a meeting, and she's like, oh my God, this is the added value I want to bring into my private school. And I'm like, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And
Beautiful.
that was the private school where my sons went. So, and
Beautiful.
that's, yeah.
Beautiful. So this is not just for entrepreneur, right? So whether you are working, you're an employee, or you're in a corporate, it doesn't matter, right? These are the tools that's going to help you as a person to perform better as an
Mhm.
individual, as an entrepreneur, as an employee, as a manager. This is something that's going to help you to become more. So
Absolutely.
again, this is the website. So powerfulmanifestos.com/. Tammy offer hashtag, not hashtag, but slash page, as you guys could see here. And that's where you'll be able to find the info.
Thank you, girls. This was
Very
so
nice.
fun, so amazing. And, I know I'm starting the course with Peggy soon, and I feel blessed to be working with you girls. And, for those of us listening to us, we're also preparing a beautiful big event in April, a big seminar in person. So we're just having fun and bringing awareness and changing lives. Like, I know having Ruth in my life has changed my life with this sales funnel. I knew nothing about sales funnels, and so thank you, Ruth. It's so powerful. So, but be part of the 3% that do something, that get up, that go for the change, and not just sit and, oh, for me.
And I want to say the same. Tammy, well, the teaching of Tammy, Bob, these are things that I've known from a long time ago, but I wasn't really applying it. Knowing something and not applying it is two different things, right?
Mhm.
Now I'm actually having my husband part of the sessions as well, learning about these tools. The first day he was like, wow. Like, and he's a very smart, like he's been into personal development for so many years, but he just never heard those teaching, never heard it that way before. So he was absolutely blown away, called me after, and he called me and he's like, I don't know, the conversation was so, it was so humble. He was saying, you know what, thank you so much for introducing this into my life. And he was just an amazing, amazing gentleman. He was like, I want to do better, I want to grow more, I love this, and I want to really implement this. I love that we're doing this together. So one session,
And
just
that was after our first thinking into results call,
yeah,
because
yeah.
when I finished the PowerPoint, and he was like this on the screen, and that's what he said to me too. He's like, wow. And I'm thinking, hey, you were the dude that like a week ago, 2 weeks ago was like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's very analytical. Like he's
Oh
very
yeah,
analytical. He's like bringing facts and all that stuff. And now he's like blown away, right?
yeah.
So he
Oh,
loves it.
that's making me emotional,
Yeah.
because,
And that
and it
was just
always makes me
call.
what? Sorry.
It was just a one call too that
Yeah.
made him this way. Yeah. Yeah.
But when he said to me, I'm a skeptic. I'm like, those are my best. I love that. So for the skeptics on the call, call me.
Yeah.
Call me. Let's just have a discussion. And
Yeah.
wow.
So
Beautiful.
great. So
And
tomorrow we're going to have a day of Q&A.
mhm.
If you are available to hop on with us tomorrow at the same time, Q&A, any question, or you write them down or send it to us. If you have our contact, so send to us your question, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. And for the
Absolutely.
VIP people, we're going to see you after after the session today. And it was great, Tammy, to hear you today. Even though I know the law of attraction, there's something to learn every time I hear you speak about the law of attraction. So great.
I forgot to share. So this is our little book for our morning club. So it's called Rise and Shine: Daily Game Plan to Reach Your Ultimate Goals. So here we write what our short-term, long-term goal, short-term, mid-term, and then long-term goals. And we read out loud this self-confidence formula every morning, each a paragraph. And and the purpose of it is that you'll get it off the top of your head after. And it says in here, I know that my predominant thoughts will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action. So, when you know it off the top of your head, now it's like, oh, my predominant thought is fear. Oh, no, I know it's going to produce itself. So, okay, Tammy, cut that thought. Let's flip it over. So it's this consciousness that changes our life, because we put the brakes on when it's poo-poo, when it's not good. Mm-hmm. So we read the self-confidence formula, and then we write our goal. We connect to gratitude, and connecting to gratitude is different than just writing. It's connecting energetically. And again, science can prove when you're in the frequency of gratitude, it's impossible that you be in fear or anxiety. So it's a frequency. So we show you how to get there. Here, auto suggestion in the mirror, and then we move on to how to visualize, how to ask, how to feel, how to bring it into our life. And then we finish our call with an upbeat music, because here we have quiet music like meditation music. I walk you through how to ground yourself, visualize. And then we finish with some upbeat music with the 6 things we're going to do today that's going to bring our life to another level, that is going to bring us closer to our goals. So what are the 6 actions? And then, there's one lady, when she started, she's like, I've been here from BC for 3 months. And she's like, I'm felt lost, anxious. She said, just 4 days into your morning club, I've done more in 4 days with those 6 steps. I've taken more action in 4 days than the last 3 months. And, so it's so powerful when you tell yourself, I'm not going to bed tonight until my 6 things are done. Mm-hmm. And then you go to bed happy and proud of yourself. You get up the next level. It's the next day at a whole other level.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And again, she's providing you 60-day free when you enroll with her program, and again a 30-day free consultation as well. So again, go to powerfulmanifestors.com/Tammy offer for all the information. If you guys have any questions, feel free to get a hold of us. Tomorrow we'll be available at 12 o'clock for your Q&As, and we look forward to having you.
Great.
We'll be sending the digital version of the Morning Club book, so you would get it free also by email.
Beautiful. All right, so guys, it was a beautiful day, another day. This is day 4 of the challenge, right? So we had an amazing day. First day with Mina, second day with Numerology. So really getting to know each other in regards to who we really are. Day 2, we've got sales and funnels, and how to really use your remove your website to create and converting funnel or site. Day 3, we had Peggy that talked about how to become an author, and day 4 with Tammy on how to put everything together and manifest all your dreams and desires. So guys, this is usually I go to 5 days events about the same thing, but if you implement each and every single one of those things that were taught this week, this is the roadmap, the blueprint to success. Mm-hmm. So we look forward to your questions tomorrow, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you for joining us,
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ruth. Thanks, Tammy.